Nile, 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 Valley, 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 ultra-terrestrial, 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 radio, 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 broadcasting on the arc frequency, Wednesday, 5/18/16, Hotep. Today's broadcast is titled Mass Extermination. I now advise and suggest you tune in to what is being presented in this radio broadcast deeper than you ever have before. We shall be presenting ultimately important, valuable information, ultimately significant and important, valuable information for you to also think deeply about, deeper than you ever have before. I have been also previously and currently now speaking an esoteric language that I shall now also translate for your immediate reference. If you have not done this, I suggest you also listen to also the previous radio broadcast. Divine Utopian Cosmic Family. Mass extermination. The following information was forwarded by Nile Valley Ultra-Terrestrial Institute, also through Nile Valley Ultra-Terrestrial Global Intelligence. 300 million individuals among the American mass population have been targeted for mass extermination. I shall now read the following information that we also reposted at nile-valley-network.blogspot.com for you to also think deeply about. There are some very deep, dark secrets behind the evil globalist New World Order agenda. The Vampire Federation of European secret societies have been trying to attain over at least the previous 1,000 years. Some intel intergenerational entity seems to be involved here, directing this evil agenda. How else can this intergenerational continuity of mission be occurring with so much consistency? I have called this intergenerational entity in the past a non-human, incredibly evil force working through specially chosen human DNA families. This would mean that also this entity has much advanced power to effectively direct also this evil globalist New World Order agenda. For those of you who listened to that reposted segment, this is not so-called science fiction. And various individuals that have been scattered across the American environment are now beginning to awaken to what I refer to as being nightmare cosmic theater, because they had been previously told all of this is fantasy and so-called make-believe. I now advise and suggest also to you that are truly in alliance with us, for you to now also ultimately and immediately extend your mental, spiritual, physical, and financial assistance, collaboration, and support. Various groups of Melkite Coptic Negroes were in communication with us, and they all went suddenly into also total silence, unaware they had been targeted by psychotronic weapons. And some of those groups of individuals pretended to be working also with us toward the implementation of a collective overall agenda for our collective greater overall prosperity and well-being. They attempted to deceptively also use and take also the information that we presented for their own individual agendas. Their diabolical evil attempted betrayal and their deception was used to capture and mind control them by the malevolent interdimensional cacodemon entities that have totally also taken over their minds. I now re-emphasize again that each and every alternative news media broadcasting site and internet radio station have been asking for immediate financial assistance and support because we are not connected to the so-called mainstream news media conglomerates that fund all of their subsidiary outlets to continuously broadcast misinformation, illusions, and propaganda to keep the global mass population intentionally misinformed and misled. Go to Nile-Valley-Network.blogspot.com. There are no spaces in between. I repeat, go to Nile-Valley-Network.blogspot.com. Scroll down to the bottom of the page and click the PayPal cyberlink to extend your financial pledges. I have also reposted the following information for you to again think very deeply about. Saying this: these alien ET ciphers continuously monitor humans whom they designated to be targets to deploy custom psychotronic solutions and psi-power solutions designed to get them back into also their desired parameters and on track to lose their minds and souls. That information is translated into what we refer to as mind control technology using psychotronic weapons. For example, HAARP, High Atmospheric Auroral Research Project, used to transmit extra low frequency and very low frequency, what is referred to as being psychotronic waves, microwaves, and other ELF transmission directly into also the minds of groups of individuals to alter, modify, and change their behavior, also targeting the magnetic field and auras of many groups of individuals to cause a malfunction in their auras, leading to physical illness. Those individuals that have attempted to diabolically betray and to also deceive us, they have now become unable to communicate with us, and they have become remote controlled android puppet slaves, their minds being taken away from them. I warned them, and they also disregarded these repeated warnings. Each and every one of those individuals are now beginning to experience also overwhelming devastation based on divine retribution. I represent also the dark, benevolent side of the ultra-terrestrial original Cometian, so-called African Egyptian cosmic force that is now in an intergalactic war also taking place in our minds across the global environment. This is being symbolized in the most recent Star Wars movie, The Force Awakens. They have taken our ancient ultra-terrestrial original Cometian, so-called African Egyptian culture and put it also in movies, in Hollywood movies, referring to our ancient ultra-terrestrial culture as being so far removed from reality, it is now referred to as being so-called science fiction. The word Jedi was copied, plagiarized, and adapted from the ultra-terrestrial original Cometian, so-called African Egyptian Jedi, Jeda apostrophe IAH, the original Star Lords and Lordesses, referred to also as the Metu Neter and the Neteru. The Neteru are referenced in the movie Stargate during the cave scene when the daughter of the indigenous tribal group showed one of the scientists that landed on the planet a cave drawing of a pyramid starship taking off from above the Great Pyramid of Heru. And she refers to those beings or these beings as the Neteru. They put also our information directly in front of us, and most of the individuals among the so-called African American mass population, be them Black Hebrews, Moors, Kemites, Cometians, and whatever. They do not have an iota of a clue of what is being presented to them. We have been also consistently presenting reference information concerning the plagiarism of ultra-terrestrial, original Cometian, so-called African, Egyptian, intergalactic star culture. We again re-emphasize the ultimate importance, value, and necessity of you extending your immediate and ultimate mental, spiritual, physical, and financial assistance and support, allowing us to continue our alternative ultra-terrestrial research, bringing you this ultimately important and valuable information. Go to Nile-Valley-Network.blogspot.com. Scroll down to the bottom of the page and click the PayPal cyberlink to extend your financial pledges. Returning to this radio broadcast, I say again, mass extermination is being planned for 300 million Americans, only through also the continuous and consistent synchronization and coordination of ultimately our collective thought vibrations of respect, honor, and trustworthiness based on the cosmic principles coded in the ultra-terrestrial, original Cometian, African, Egyptian mystery system, being extended by the NVUTR. We also collectively access the arc frequency, reactivating and forming a cosmic shield of protection around us, wherever also we happen to be. And I say again, go to Nile-Valley-Network.blogspot.com. All joined together and no spaces in between the dashes and words. Scroll down to the bottom of the page and click the PayPal cyberlink to extend your financial pledges. Keep also in mind the so-called secret space war that is now taking place in the orbital space around the planet Earth is far beyond the lack of comprehension of most individuals. At also Nile-Valley-Network nile-valley-blogspot.com, we have reposted a photograph of a hyperdimensional anti-gravity spacecraft damaged in the secret space war. I now re-emphasize again, I now advise and suggest also to you that are truly in alliance with us, for you to now also immediately and ultimately extend your mental, spiritual, physical, and financial assistance, collaboration, and support. We must now also collectively go into divine utopian meditation deeper than we also ever have before toward our divine protection, prosperity, and well-being to access the arc frequency. Our divine utopian cosmic family continues to collectively flow on the arc frequency. We are now also gathering various resources and amenities for the specific purpose of providing us with also the basic amenities, resources, and other tools and instruments, most definitely, that shall be needed and required for us to collectively prosper and to protect our collective overall well-being and security. I now say again to also the individuals that have been assisting, collaborating, and truly supporting us. Nile Valley Ultra-Terrestrial Institute happens to be our cultural base, and we shall continuously update you on the current status of our divine utopian cosmic family agenda. Go to nile-valley-network.blogspot.com. Scroll down to the bottom of the page and click the PayPal cyberlink to extend your financial pledges. Hotep.